Well, I'll be goddamn.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Gauntlet, the home of football and everything else for Sideline Sports Network, which you guys can also tune into the Sideline Sports Show on Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, I think, with John, JB, and Dave and the boys. So, here for another episode with Jay and Dom. JJ, not here right now, but he will probably join us at some point. We'll have JJ's bet of the week. The team previewed for this week, the New York Jets. We're going to talk about the AFC East. Aaron Rodgers, can he come back and be healthy? All sorts of things to talk about. The Tom Brady roast, which is excellent, by the way, on Netflix. Very funny. Very, like, a lot of these jokes were, like, way over the top, which I think is great. And we got all sorts of other stuff to talk about too, guys. But it's going to be an exciting show, going to be an exciting episode as always. But how we doing tonight?
Doing pretty good, man. I mean, we got a hell of a non-sports topic for everybody in here. I know we usually do pass the mic, but we're going to chill on that this week. We got a doozy next week also. Shout out to Tyler. Happy birthday to your little girl. We got a doozy next week too, because we're going to do a part 2 of last week. But this week, if you've been paying attention to the world of music, yeah, stay tuned for the non-sports topic.
Oh, man, just wait.
Okay, starting off with
no shortage of strong opinions henceforth coming.
Sure as hell not. It's going to be wild. But with the rapid fire topics, I'm going to start off with some heat just off the bat. If you could take one player in the NFL that never won a ring and like give that player a ring, who would you give it to and why?
Charles Barkley. Oh wait, NFL?
NFL. I know who you're going to say, but
oh yeah, well it's pretty obvious. Ty, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson. But Barry.
Okay.
Right. That's not a bad pick. Jay, who you gonna go with?
I gotta go with Warren Moon. He's one of the greatest never to won a ring, you know.
That's a good pick too.
I know some people may say Dan Marino, and I'm not mad at that. But if Dan Marino's your one, Moon definitely would be your two. You know, to me, he was a complete quarterback. He had to decide. Yeah. To me, he was a complete quarterback. Arm strength, arm distance. He could run. He had size. I mean, you know, he was to me, he was the prototypical NFL QB and such a great dude. Also, he definitely deserved to at least play in the big game. But as far as winning a ring, I give it to Moon.
No, I think that's a great pick too. I would love to see Ryan Dawkins, Terrell Owens, like the Eagles players win the Super Bowl, but the person that I would pick and the person that I think deserves it the most is Larry Fitzgerald. Because Larry Fitzgerald pretty much was the most consistent player on his team, most consistent player in the NFL. He showed up for his team. He played with all these quarterbacks that were sorry. I know he played with Kurt Warner for a little bit, but other than that, and Carson Palmer for his little run at the end of his career.
Wow, no love for Kevin Kolb?
No one really played with a worse group of quarterbacks besides Larry Fitzgerald. So Larry did everything he could, still couldn't get a ring. It's unfortunate, but he would have definitely been.
And stayed with one team his whole career. And he was the one that I first took notice of. When did he come into the league? Like 04?
5?
04,
05, yeah.
I never, granted I didn't pay great attention to it beforehand, but I've never seen anyone, didn't know of anyone before him and never seen anyone since him that entered the league as such a polished receiver. Like great hands, great route running, high pointing the ball.
Yep.
He had everything that you could ever ask for in a receiver other than like breakaway speed. And he wasn't slow, he just wasn't, like Randy Moss fast.
I always thought that Bolden was actually the best receiver. Yeah. Oh, no, great pick on that one. I actually thought between the two on the Cardinals, Bolden was actually the faster receiver, but the better route runner definitely was Fitzgerald in better hands. And the crazy part about James picking him is out of everybody we picked, he's the only one that actually played in the big game. And if it wasn't for the Cardinals defensive coordinator fucking them on the last drive, Fitz would have a ring.
Yeah. So
I missed the whole second half of that Super Bowl, and it was a great one too. I was in Vail for my brother's wedding, and I was just
it was a great Super Bowl though.
Just dead tired from snowboarding all day, and I was like, I'm gonna take a nap at halftime, and then I could not get back out of bed.
Yeah,
it was a really good game. But that's pretty much, I guess, what we have time for that. But that was a good conversation. There's a lot of players you could say like who deserves the ring the most. But definitely some good picks there. So let's get into the sports moron of the week. The dumbest takes of the week. I want to say hello to John Cheer, who was in the comments. My friend, it's good to see you too. So we will not forget the sports moron when we were in the NFL draft for, I think it was Kansas City. So, sports moron, I apologize to the audience because last week I was forgetting. I don't know why this was not on my mind, but the Atlanta Falcons social media when Michael Penix Jr. almost said it, but
you were
come on, bro. Like, I don't know how the conversation went with the social media person or his manager, but at this point, bro, we can't even say anything. We just got to be like, yeah, buddy, we got to let you go. And that's it. Like, you got to...
So glad it finally happened. Like, that is the greatest typo in sports history.
At least they got it out of the way early, too.
You got to proofread. Like, I don't know who approved this. Like, there has to be some process of, like, proofreading before you like
someone that didn't like the draft pick, I'm betting, and had already secured himself future employment.
That's horrible. Like I don't know what to say, but yeah,
I would do it.
I mean,
shout out to whoever that guy was. He's not the sports moron. That is the sports hero.
I mean, in all fairness, I mean the guy has yet to play a game, and I think that it was an injustice, frankly, done to Michael Shaft, but. With that being said, I think that Michael Dick deserves better than that, you know? So whoever did that, I know you did it on purpose, and you need to own up to, and you owe Michael Helmet an apology.
There was some player that got drafted this year that his name was Will Clapp. He was like a offensive lineman.
For the Chargers, yeah.
His name is a verb, so.
It is.
I like
every time you see a picture,
it's also
of like
slang for a venereal disease, which is where I thought you were going.
But now, whenever there's a picture of like some fine ass Instagram model, they put his picture up with his name on it. Will Clapp. I will clap those peeps. Yeah, Will Clapp.
Yeah, bro. That's my sports moron, so I'll pass it to one of you guys.
Real quick. My sports moron / non-sports moron, however you want to call it. But sports moron because of who she was associated to is to one Miss Giselle Bundchen. Apparently, and we're going to get to this topic, so I won't go too deep into it, but well, let's see. Apparently, she was hurt over some comments and everything that was made during the roast, I guess, about her and such. Imagine cheating on your husband and then feeling the freaking ramifications behind that. What'd you expect was going to happen? But whatever.
They were just having. I really enjoyed the roast, and we're going to talk about it later. But I mean, he's just trying to make something about herself. But Tom was up there, like the jokes were savage, and everybody was coming at him, and it was amazing. So I love the roast, and Giselle making comments. I think she just kind of wants the attention on herself. She can see Tom is having fun and everything, but we'll talk more about it later.
Dom, who you got?
I got nothing.
Are you sure? Anything?
I got nothing. Nothing. Racked my brain, came up with nothing.
Oh yeah,
I thought I remembered something. I'll remember later. Be like, oh, I remember what it was. Like 4 topics later, guarantee it.
Yeah, you probably will. I'm trying to think of anything else stupid happened? Like, does anybody in the comments have a sports moron that they want to bring up? But I
think who did? Usually they'll come off with some bacon one. Not yet. I don't see any yet. Oh, Tyler Ingham says Austin Rivers.
Oh yeah, he told us about that.
We're getting to, we actually made that a topic, but unless y'all want to just go right now. But yeah, we'll get to him.
Let's just go right now. So,
all right.
He said that quote. I think I'm paraphrasing, but
30?
He thinks that the top 30 or something NBA players could make it in the NFL or something like that.
Yeah, so, he said that he could put 30 NBA players in the NFL right now, but 30 to 40 NFL players couldn't make it in the NBA.
So who do you think? Who in the NFL, in the NBA, realistically, do you guys think could play in the NFL? That's the first question.
I definitely think Zion Williamson could be an offensive lineman just because of sheer girth.
I've said for years I put LeBron at wideout.
LeBron would be the one where it would be 29 at best. The first time he experienced, first time someone tried to press him at the line and he forgot it was the NFL and at the NBA and he tried to flop and draw a flag.
I think he would not be a wide receiver. I think it would be a tight end.
Tight end for sure.
He might be a tight end.
Not obviously we're not saying, current day LeBron, prime physical.
Well, I mean, he's
45-year-old LeBron. I don't think he's tough enough. Because he's not.
I don't really think there's a lot of players that could make it in the NFL.
In the NFL,
I can't really think of any that, off the top of my head. I can definitely see them.
I mean, you figure that the very most of them got the height. So you could easily put him at receiver or whatever, or even some of them at quarterback. I don't know. Chris Paul, do you think he can make it?
Chris Paul was one of the ones that came to my mind, but then I started thinking about the smaller, 6'2" and under point guards. Those dudes don't have NFL weight on them, but it's a different game. Most of those dudes, they'd be scat backs or maybe
or slot receivers. What about Westbrook? Right. Westbrook's got some size on him. You think he can make it?
Tyler says Anthony Edwards. I kind of like that one.
Edwards?
He played football.
Yeah,
some point in his life.
Yep.
So isn't it crazy how when he got drafted, people said he might not be worthy of a number one pick, and people were questioning his commitment to the game and how he said he never really loved basketball, and now he's just all but anointed as the next MJ. I mean, I'm happy as hell for the dude because he is.
That's because he looks exactly like Michael Jordan.
He does look like Michael Jordan.
Someone took a picture of Michael Jordan. It was half of his face and half Anthony Edwards.
And I do believe the worst win percentage in NBA history, Minnesota Timberwolves, are currently up 2-0 on the defending NBA champs. Or did Denver come back and win one? It's still 2-zip, isn't it?
It's still zip. And the game is up
3-0 after tonight.
I've taken my eye off the NBA playoffs. Once I realized Buckets wasn't going to play that whole series, I was like, oh.
The playoffs have been pretty bad.
There's officially no one for me to root for. And then OKC got put out, and I'm like, damn it. That would be my sports moron. The NBA writers for giving Jokic a third MVP. We don't need to see a dude win MVP 3 times in a row. Or what, 3 out of 4 now? Give it to SGA.
I don't know, but to answer the question, no. There's probably not any players in the NBA right now that could actually be.
There might be a handful, but like you said, no one really comes to mind. Oh yeah, he'd be a sick. No.
But how many NFL players could play basketball?
Okay.
How about that?
I was thinking about that too.
I definitely think it was easier the other way around.
Yeah, this is where
there's a number of.
How many How many NFL players can play in the NBA? Whoa, shit, dude.
I'm thinking more of retired guys like Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, because they were all really good basketball players.
Some of them really did play ball, yeah. Some of them really did.
Julius Peppers actually played basketball. He played basketball and football for University of North Carolina.
Yep, UNC.
Yep. Yeah. Yep, sure did. Who else in the? I mean, you figure a lot of those guys, they have the.
I got one for you. Myles Garrett. He could definitely play in the NBA.
Randy Moss was a hell of a high school basketball player.
He's a crazy athlete. He's fucking huge.
Yeah.
He can get you 10 rebounds a game.
I mean,
what?
You
I
see,
would put
you see
Miles Garrett
NFL
gets
players
like
playing
10 rebounds
pickup
a game.
basketball a lot more often than you see NBA players, you know.
I mean, you know what? I'd put Justin James at small forward. He's about 6'5", 295. I mean, he's got more than enough size to be in the lane, so I'd put J.J. Watt at small forward. Think he could do it?
J.J. Watt could probably do it.
Yeah, I feel like his jumper's broke. You could never convince him of that, but I bet he's got a broke jumper.
T.J. Watt going about, what, 6'3", maybe 260? Think T.J. Watt do it?
But Myles Garrett's the main person that comes to my mind.
Myles Garrett, yeah. Because you figure with an edge rusher, they could drive the lane, so they could,
Well, it's not really about position. It's just about, like, if you look at the guy, he's huge. He's a freakish athlete. He can move. He's faster than everyone on the field. He blows past offensive linemen. He's strong. So I think he could get in the paint and get you some buckets in the paint. And I really think he could get you a lot of rebounds.
Much as it pains me to say, I feel like Lamar Jackson and or Justin Fields can hoop.
I don't know.
I definitely have him on fast breaks. I know that. I definitely have him on fast breaks. Russell Wilson, hey Dom, would he be like the Isaiah Thomas or what?
That's what for some reason, it's funny that you say that because his name randomly popped into my head like 30 seconds ago. Like, Russell Wilson.
I will say this. I don't really know anybody besides Myles Garrett that's just like jumping out to me, but I will say that I think it's much more likely that an NFL player could be more successful in the NBA than an NBA player being successful.
I agree 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely was out of line.
I agree with everything you said.
He was out of line for that.
That was extremely dumb. So that was cool. That was a good topic. Let's get it moving. And let's talk about the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles last season in the first game of the season.
I would like to take this moment to point out that Aaron Rodgers' last pass
Grizz is saying, hold on, just to wrap up the last topic, Grizz is also saying that he thinks A.J. Brown could play in the NBA.
That's actually a good pick.
Interesting. I'm not mad at it. But Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles on the first game of the season. And
like fourth play?
And it's just devastating. And Tyler is saying Devontae Adams. Great picks, guys. But here's the thing. That was so devastating for the Jets, and that pretty much derailed a season that had a lot of hope for them. Because we were looking at Jets and we were saying...
Yeah, but did it really? Did it derail it? Yes. Was there a whole lot of promise?
Yes, there was.
Yes.
There was a ton of promise.
Absolutely. Some had them winning the AFC.
Hold on. Their defense was one of the best defenses in the NFL last season.
That's true.
Yep.
You have a promising receiver like Garrett Wilson, who still had an amazing season, despite all the stuff with Zach Wilson and all these quarterbacks revolving door. You add Mike Williams to the mix to be a number 2 receiver. We have Hazard there, who he has already history with in Green Bay. So I kind of like what the Jets have there. I really do. And they addressed the offensive line. They drafted the offensive tackle from Penn State. I can't say the guy's name, but they drafted him in the first round. They signed Tyron Smith. I know he's had like a lot of injuries and stuff with Dallas, but he's a proven veteran and he knows how to play. So they addressed some of the major needs that the team needed. If Aaron Rodgers stays healthy, Buffalo got worse. Josh doesn't really have anybody to throw to. Miami is going to look exciting in the first
Miami goes as far as Tua goes, which is
they're going to be exciting in the first part of the season. But as the season goes on and you get in November, December, when everything starts getting tight, and then you got to go on the road and play teams.
The average temperature decreases.
We see that Miami does not really show up that time of year, so I don't really see a reason. You can't really give me a reason why, if Aaron Rodgers is on the field for the whole season, that this team can't win the division. They're good enough to win the division. They were good enough to win the division last year. They lost to Aaron, and that was pretty much a wrap. I am still going to pick the Jets, just like I did last year. I'm picking them again this year. If everything goes right, there's no reason that this team cannot win the division and really make some noise in the playoffs. It's all about the Chiefs, but the Jets are a team that has a good chance to derail them if anyone does.
Yeah. Any division that's got Aaron Rodgers in it, as our guy Tyler would know, is going to be the biggest threat in the division. Regardless of, and Josh Allen is amazing, he is. But if Aaron Rodgers, and I said this, if he's even half the man of his MVP season, the Jets could easily win that division. And notice James didn't bring up the Patriots because, well, they ain't worth bringing up. They're going to get swept.
What's the point?
So
New England, they still have a team?
You know what? Believe it or not, yeah, they do.
Drake,
but,
they got Drake May, man. We talking about Drake on the non-sports topic. Drake May,
man.
like that. I don't
know. One Drake already got killed. Let's not, put that on the brother. All right, you know what I mean? Or you just go by May next season.
We're not having any more Drake talk until later. But yeah,
until later. But look, I mean, Miami is Miami. Okay. They're going to look exciting on the field. They're going to look flashy. Tyreek Hill's going to put up astronomical numbers on the field. Jalen Waddle, same thing. And as Dom said, the team's going to go as Tua goes. But when they get to the postseason, that is where it really counts.
Like I said the other day, 24 years since they won a playoff game.
Exactly. And then, you run into, and granted, I get it. You were knocked out in the first round by Pat Mahomes, okay? But that's kind of my point. Some people will say, well, there's no shame in losing to Mahomes. But if you want to be among the best, you have to be the Mahomes of the world.
You got to be the best. You got to beat the best.
Exactly. So with that,
you got to beat somebody at some point.
Here's the only thing I will add to what you just said about like the whole Mahomes thing. Mm-hmm. It's not really like that they lost to Mahomes. This is where like the context comes in. Because if you look at that game, like Mahomes did not have a crazy Mahomes performance.
He didn't actually.
The Dolphins had a lot of chances to be in that game.
They were cold.
They just couldn't do anything. When they had chances to capitalize, they couldn't do anything.
They couldn't get their hands warmed up. It was too cold.
Yeah, so if you're a team like that puts up all these stats and stuff when it's warm out, and then anytime you gotta go to somewhere like
NFL,
and this is what happens.
There's not much. You know what the Dolphins are, or what they've become, at least based upon last year. They're the James Harden of the NFL. Guess what, Dolphins? No one gives a shit about what you do in September and October.
But you know what? And you bring up that game, and what you guys said is true. But I can't let that mention go without giving props to Steve Spagnuolo. Because for the last however many recent years, whenever the Chiefs hit the playoffs, they turn into an elite defense. Pat Mahomes did not have a fairly great game, right? They only needed 23 points to beat the Dolphins. That Spagnuolo defense turns into amazing come January.
They do. I mean, their defense was a lot better for pretty much the whole year last year, but that was because I think Spagnuolo and Andy Reid realized they had to be. They couldn't rely on Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, they do. It's just something. Good. They turn it up come January, no matter how good or bend don't break they are in the regular season. I say it every single year.
Yep. And for 5 years now.
Yeah, and I had the pleasure of talking with linebacker Jack Cochran, and he was telling about playing for Steve Spagnuolo and the type of thing. We're talking about a guy that he's the first in history to win 4 rings as a defensive coordinator. Otherworldly, right? So, but back to the Dolphins, this is what I'm talking about here, is if you want to be respected among the elite in the AFC, You got to beat the Aaron Rodgers. So next season, that's going to be interesting. You got to beat the Chiefs of the world. You got to beat the Herberts and everybody in the loaded AFC. You got to beat the Ravens. If you want to be respected amongst the elite, talking to Tua and everybody else, you got to beat these guys. You can't let Lamar Jackson hang a Jackson 5 on you and then expect to be taken seriously. It is what it is.
The Ravens scored 50 against the Miami Dolphins in the regular season. So.
He had 5 touchdown passes, Jackson.
Oh, yeah, I mean the moral of the story is I have the Jets as the favorite.
I don't think so.
Who should be a favorite?
It's Buffalo. Buffalo's won that division how many years in a row?
Buffalo got
Miami
worse.
should have won it last year, but then they choked on applesauce.
Buffalo got
I look at the Jets like this. The Jets are or could or should be in theory back to where they were about 10, 12 years ago with Rex Ryan and Sanchez. But it's like now instead of being they still could maybe be the second best team in the division, but instead of worrying about the Patriots, now it's the Bills and or Miami. The only difference is now you don't have to worry about New England. I don't. Aaron Rodgers is old. Now I finally have the time to say it. Aaron Rodgers' last completed pass was to Lions safety Kirby Joseph in week 18 of 2 seasons ago. I mean, you're right. In theory, there was a lot of promise, and there should be. And I do think they're better than Miami, but I don't think. I mean, it'll be a battle between them and Buffalo. But I'm not ready to just hand them the division by any means. They'll probably make the playoffs. They should. I hope so. I'm a Jets fan from way back. It's kind of hard for me to root for them with Aaron Rodgers as their quarterback, but I'll always be at least 5% of a Jets fan. We'll see what happens. Should be a really good division, top to bottom. Even Patriots.
Okay, Dom, question for you. If the AFC Championship game is Chiefs-Jets, no matter the venue, who you got?
I might even maybe say, I don't know. I want to say Chiefs, but I would almost say Jets, but it's like, I could see Aaron Rodgers artificially advancing his team further than he normally would because San Francisco doesn't play in the AFC.
They might just go to the
Wouldn't that be nasty? The Jets get all the way to the Super Bowl and then beat Frisco, and he finally beats San Francisco and exercises
on the biggest stage.
San Francisco will not
really despise Aaron Rodgers. I really want to see him get another ring.
Yeah. What about you, James? If the AFC Championship game is Chiefs-Jets, who you got?
Chiefs. I'm not even thinking.
That is one thing where I will give the Jets and Aaron Rodgers credit. You know, Aaron Rodgers can win games in cold weather, unless it's against San Francisco.
Yeah, and he's a native Californian.
No, but the Jets are a team that could potentially.
They'll be there if they don't make the playoffs and Rodgers doesn't get hurt. That is a serious disappointment.
The Chiefs, potentially. But the Texans are also a team that can potentially do it. The Bengals are also a team that can potentially do it.
True.
I can't believe I'm saying this.
But they still probably won't.
And I will deny having said this.
They still probably won't.
Watch out for the Chargers. I can't believe I'm saying, but it's Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh can make all the difference.
Well, that's a good way to end the topic. We will have
the Chargers.
We'll have to come back to this.
Charger.
We'll have to come back to this later.
We will be talking about the Chargers every week until the end of time.
But last topic, I think, was sports related. Tom Brady roast was on Netflix. It was extremely funny. There's been a lot, even if you haven't watched the whole thing, I'm sure you guys have at least seen some of the clips. And there was a lot of jokes on there. Like, some of my favorite jokes was Randy Moss when he was saying, like, why the hell didn't we cheat when I was there, and all this stuff. That was funny, but the thing that Julian Edelman said, and this is how you know, they just didn't care. They just said whatever they wanted. When he said something about Rob Gronkowski, has a big dick or something, but the person that was hanging the most in the locker room was Aaron Hernandez. Bro, Julian Edelman does not care at all.
You know what's funny about that? I'll wait till you're done because the only thing because I haven't seen any of it. The only thing I know about any of it is Julian Edelman. So go ahead.
I really enjoyed it. It was cool. It was fun. Like everyone was having fun. Tom was obviously like a great sport about everything. He wasn't salty. Which to do these roasts, you can't be salty. Like that takes away from the entertainment aspect of it. But Tom he's a great guy. Like he's a funny guy. He's got a personality. I know people hated playing against him in the NFL and hated him for, I guess, sports-related reasons. But as a person, as a guy, it's really hard to not like this guy. Just a really funny dude. But I really enjoyed the roast. I think it was great. I would like to see more like sports people, do this type of thing because I think it would be really fun. I think it would be really fun.
Yeah. I mean, you hit the head on the nail with that one. In order for a roast to be a success is the hammerhead on the nail, whatever. In order for it to be a success, the one you're roasting has to have a sense of humor and be able to joke about themselves. I think they said, aside of Giselle Bundchen trying to hog attention away, they said the only controversial notice in the topic it says a controversial success is they made mention of the whole Robert Kraft massage parlor thing.
I was going to say, I heard something after that about Tom Brady went up to someone and whispered in their ear, like right after that joke.
It was like, yeah. Could have done without that. I mean, the night and the moments about Brady, and you don't want to bring up anything too controversial. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But like that wasn't really the time for it. Joke about anything else but that. Tom has always been, a team player on and off the field. He can take it and he can dish it out as well. So something like this is right up his alley. You can roast Tom. I think he likes the attention also. He also kind of worked hard to get to this, you know what I mean? To where he can be roasted on a television program, by his peers and appreciated. Like this is, I'm not going to say it's the reason he came in 2000. There's 7 reasons why he came in 2000. But no, from what I gather from it, it was all good. And this actually should set the tone. Maybe this will set the tone for future, for more roasts to be happening and televised. And that actually might be a topic who we, like to see get roasted in the future.
That would be great. Yeah.
It's funny because at first, like I didn't watch any of the roast, haven't seen any of it, didn't plan on it, but like just since the topic started, I thought about it. I'm like, I really need to go watch that. Like an hour and a half, 2 hours of people talking shit about Tom Brady. Like I'm in. Like pop the popcorn.
Yeah, you would love it.
Crack a few beers. The only thing that I had heard about it in any way, shape, or form, Edelman was on Colin Cowherd like last week, and I guess he prepped his segment for like 2 weeks. Like he got together with his team, like rehearsed what he was gonna say, and then like a day or two before the actual roast, what's his name? Jeffrey Ross. Jeffrey Ross was doing stand-up at the Comedy Store in LA, and he let Edelman get on for the last like 10 or 12 minutes of his spot so he could like run through it again. And I was like, obviously I don't like Tom Brady. I don't have any strong feelings one way or the other about Julian Edelman. But yeah. I like that he was committed and, wanted to go out there and, do a good spot for the time that they allotted him. But that's cool. Apparently, I'm going to have to watch it. I might watch it after we get off here because, like I said, 2 hours of people talking shit about Tom Brady, I'm in.
All right. Is that all we have for the Tom Brady? Chris says, I want to see Travis Kelce get roasted after him and Taylor break up. See how many times Taylor Swift gets mentioned. That's a very good one.
I get this odd feeling they're going to get married and maybe not get divorced for a while. Like, I think this thing is going to go on for a good...
work out?
Yeah, it is.
I think they're going to make it work out, at least in the eyes of the media. Like, it's way too much of a moneymaker. I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL is just forking over. I mean, what did they say? They made an extra $350 million in league revenue.
I think Taylor Swift is going to be the halftime for the next Super Bowl.
I hope not. I hope it's a Hot Boys reunion.
Me too.
Oh, keep hoping. Keep hoping, boys. Taylor is making the NFL.
In the 18 to 45 demographic, which is mostly male, I feel like NFL fans, Super Bowl watchers, period, would be more happy with a Hot Boys reunion than Taylor Swift.
NFL
but like I
fans,
said, so much money they're making from her. You're probably right.
NFL fans generally don't give a shit about the Super Bowl halftime, and they don't give a shit about the commercials.
Actually, you're right.
That is for the viewers who actually aren't NFL fans.
I would love to see a breakdown if they could figure out a way to do it based on all viewers, like whatever the Nielsen rating is. I would love to see where the dividing line is between, rabid NFL fans like us. Like, what percentage is people like us that will watch every game that's on TV versus all the additional viewers that just watch the Super Bowl for the commercials and the halftime, and middle-aged women and shit that don't give a fuck about football.
The people every year, you have a bunch of people that gather somewhere to watch Super Bowl party
because that will probably be what decides it.
They don't know anything about the game. They don't know anything about who's playing.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, a commercial, haha, like that's funny. Like
I'd be interested to know, like, is that percentage of the people more than 50%? Because I think it probably is.
No.
For as many rabid NFL fans as there are like us, or even casual NFL fans.
The NFL is the biggest sport in the United States.
Right.
It's massive. So to sit here and say like there's not a large percentage of fans watching the Super Bowl, that's just wrong, because we have the numbers that shows that. But it's about the other ways they can make money. They know how to make money off of fans, but they have to
that's what I'm saying.
They have to make money off of this, and the whole story and the whole narrative of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you're right.
That makes
there will be more extra eyes.
So if she's not the halftime,
if it's Taylor Swift,
she's not the halftime for the Super Bowl next year, I will be surprised.
Fuck you, Taylor Swift. We want Hot Boys. Sincerely, NFL fans.
So we got about 5 minutes until the non-sports topics supposed to start, unless you guys want to start it a little bit early.
Man, we can go early.
All right.
We can go early.
No.
So it's non-sports topic time.
Jay, would you like to introduce this conversation? I will let you do it.
So,
do we introduce them by their government names? I don't know K-Dots.
I don't know Kendrick.
I think it might just be Kendrick Lamar.
So there's been one rap feud that a lot of critics have said have been the greatest since Nas Jay-Z. And that is between one Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, this brother right here. Oh, by the way, that was a cover from Rolling Stone. Well, maybe not the cover, but they're already saying he won, And one Aubrey Drake Graham.
Why'd you have to use that?
That picture.
Let that hang up there for a second. Who's his friends, man? Why you let your partner come out the house looking like that? I don't care whether you got money or not. But that is tonight's non-sports topic, is the great rap war, Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And I mean, it's been a lot of allegations and dirt and hits. And this is opinionated. Who do you think won the war? Keep in mind, Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us actually broke the record for most time streamed in a day in U.S. Spotify history, and it is on the brink of debuting at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 next week. So yeah, let's go ahead and go ahead, James, and give us your
that'll be the first time in Kendrick's career that he had number 1.
A debut at number 1, I think it is. So, he's had ones before.
So, first thing, I see the headline: "The Great Rap War."
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why it's being called a war when you have one person that was absolutely bodied and destroyed. So
I was going to say that too.
there is no war. Let's be very clear. Also, we have to break this down and look at both of these guys and like who they are as artists. Kendrick Lamar is just better than Drake.
One is a rapper, the other one is a pop artist.
When it comes to a situation like this, like battle rapping, everybody should have known that Drake was not going to have any chance of winning.
Yeah.
Because Drake is not skilled lyrically. He's not. His whole career is about other people writing his music for him. This guy was going on ChatGPT to write lyrics for the diss track. He was using the AI and all this stuff. So that's the first thing. Kendrick washes him in every possible way when it comes to that. The second thing is he started getting exposed for how much of a weird human being he is. Which people don't talk. No, I'm being dead serious.
No, I know.
I'm being dead serious. People don't talk about this. I don't know why, but Drake has a history of grooming young girls.
I was going to say grooming.
Yeah.
He does. He gets with these girls that are like 13, 14 years old, and he says, "Oh, well, I'm your friend," and all this stuff. You're 34, 35 years old. Why do you need to be friends with like a 14-year-old girl? And then all of a sudden, by when she's 18, oh, you guys ended up dating each other. That just so happened to happen. Like, no, you're a freak.
It was Millie Bobby Brown.
You're a pedophile. So when Kendrick started exposing that during the beef, that's when all these companies were losing a bunch of money. And then all the OVO people were coming to Kendrick, and they were basically like asking him to have mercy. They're like, please end the beef. Like, we can't continue this. We're losing all this money and all this stuff. And Kendrick don't give a fuck about that. Like, if you didn't want to get involved with this, you should have just stayed out. But I think Drake didn't realize what he was getting himself into. He got exposed. He got destroyed. Last song they made, the Meet the Grams, first line that comes out, it's like Adonis, which is his son's name, like, your daddy's a fucking bum, and all this stuff. Like, just like, he didn't even start the track. And he's just like, yep, your daddy's a fucking bum. And that's it. So like, as soon as I said I was gonna listen to one of the songs, because I hadn't been keeping up with it, I said, you know what, I'll listen to this one. I turned it on, and as soon as I heard him say that, I turned the shit off, and I was like, yep, it's done.
You should have listened to the whole thing, man. The whole thing was.
I listened to like 5 seconds of the song, and I was like, yep, Kendrick won. That's it. I'm done.
It just never should have happened to start with. Like, don't try to enter a rap beef with a rapper, Drake. You're not a rapper. You're a pop artist. You're Justin Timberlake, but you can't dance or sing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really have a whole lot. I mean, obviously my feelings about Drake are well known, so I don't really have a whole lot to say. But like, the whole thing was foolish to start with, and anyone that thought that Drake ever stood a ghost of a fucking chance is a Drake fan. No one on earth that isn't a huge Drake fan, because anyone that tries to say like, oh yeah, I like Drake and I like Kendrick Lamar, well, you're lying about something. And no one would lie about and say they are a Drake fan if they weren't. And don't tell me you're a Kendrick fan if you're a Drake fan, because though, even before the beef, those two don't go together.
Yeah,
I can't. Like, come on, Drake. Just stay in your lane. Like, what are you doing? And to go, it'd have been different if it was some off-brand ass or somebody that was like way past their prime, or somebody that had been in a whole bunch of shit and trying to like rebuild their career by going at Drake. But it's fucking Kendrick Lamar. Like, I believe it was a wise man named Omar that says, if you come at the king, you best not miss.
Right.
Drake missed. Bad.
He
Yeah, I
put
mean,
out.
he's shooting like a not even a BB gun. He's shooting like an airsoft gun at a dude with an AK. Like you're gonna lose. You had no chance to win. I don't even know what started the beef to start with. But
Well,
good lord, man! Like I mean, you have a girl's name, Aubrey. That is not a name for a man.
Old Dr. Lightskin. So the crazy part is when he
Take
put
off
out
that ITV jersey. You're embarrassing the rest of us.
when he started out with, well, no, he didn't start it. He came out with the diss track Taylor made. And those of y'all who aren't familiar with the track Taylor made that he made going after Kendrick, he had 2 AI verses in there. The first AI verse was Tupac. The second one was of Snoop Dogg, and then the third verse was him. And when you listen to it, it's like, okay, obviously this is AI. And also it doesn't, like, Pac's AI doesn't rap like he normally would. Like, you could. But what baffled me about it is the fact that he used a Snoop verse AI, and the man is still alive. Like, you couldn't reach out for him and say, "Yo, you want to do a feature?" But I guess the reason why he
didn't
did
want
it,
no part of that shit.
exactly. I guess Drake knew better. Like, man, dude, he knows that Snoop Dogg rides for Kendrick. He passed Kendrick to the West Coast. So he knew he wouldn't come on a track like that. Well, anyway, and to me, this is where Drake lost the battle. Because he put that track up, and then Tupac's estate contacted him and said, "Take this down or we're going to hit you with legal action. Because you did it without our permission."
Wow, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's even more embarrassing.
On the final track of Kendrick Lamar's album, The Pimp a Butterfly, was a never before released Tupac interview that he did. Real world Tupac. He contacted Tupac's estate and asked for permission to use it. They granted it to him. See, he did things the right way. Drake had to use an AI verse. I'm like, come on, man, really? You the first dude in history to use an AI in a diss track. You couldn't
even if Drake would have asked, they would have said no.
First of all, it's like you can't. The very least you could do is write your own shit. We know the motherfucker got ghostwriters. You know what I'm saying? But on top of that,
Pop artist.
Even if you wrote your own shit but failed miserably compared to Kendrick, at least you can hang your hat on it. Well, at least I write my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Dude, you had ghostwriters and still lost.
When he came back talking about your short and talking about his shoe size, I'm like, dude, you lost.
Yeah.
You should have just never responded and been like, my bad, I lost.
Yeah. And something like this, and the crazy part is when you go and look through social media, like, people who sided with Kendrick is like, nah, Kendrick Lamar won, and here's how he won. Boom, 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 boom. All the Drake super fans were like, Drake won, but they never explained how he won or anything like that. They just say Drake won, and it's like,
can we bring Jahan on? I'm sure he could give you 30 reasons that are not applicable as to why Drake won.
I don't know, man, but it wasn't even close for me.
With something like this, and I don't know what's going to come from this. I know that. And then there's what Metro Boomin did. Metro Boomin actually made a diss. If y'all got me on TikTok, you can go and check it out or whatever, but it's easy to look up. He actually made a beat called BBL Drizzy and put it out on his social media and said, whoever can record the best verse to this can have the beat for free. The funny part about it is he's pretty much just released it to everybody for free, because if you go through TikTok and in any part of social media, there are different versions like to that same beat, and there's people like rapping over it and everything. There was even a dude that was he wasn't like a rock artist, but he plays electric guitar, and he played like a guitar like a solo to it, and it sounded pretty crazy. So, cool. Like, yeah, you got people around the world, and then some Drake stands coming on there saying, "Oh, well, that song is only hot in LA." No, it's hot here in Texas. It's hot in Detroit. It was hot in New York. It's hot in Miami. It's streamed more in Toronto than Drake is right now in his own city. Like, K Dot the king of your city, bro.
Everyone has been talking about this for the last 3 weeks or something.
Yeah,
every day.
And the thing that he did was essentially he exposed them because. And he told the truth, because back when he was Heartbreak Drake, when he was just singing about the bitches and everything like that, and just generally rapping, it's like, okay, that was cool. Then he went and became Champagne Poppy. Okay, so my status is a little bigger now, and I'm buying out the bottles in the club and everything, and we having a good time, and I'm messing with high caliber women, and that was cool. Then he started hanging around today's trap artists, 21 Savage and them. Now all of a sudden he a shooter, and everybody's like, "Wait a second, that's not you. You Jimmy from Degrassi, bruh. Like
Degrassi.
you
I
not
knew the Degrassi comment was coming.
yeah, like you did. Oh, what you call him? Bacon BB too.
If that man ever held a loaded gun in his hand, he'd Plexico Burris himself.
Yeah, so now everybody they got a comment right there. So now people looking at it, oh, you a shooter now? Like, bro, you Jimmy from Degrassi, you not the shooter, you got shot. Right? Like you can't pull that off, bro. I'm sorry, you know what I mean?
People used to make fun of Drake because he made that song that was called Starting from the Bottom. It was like, bro, you didn't start from no fucking bottom. You was on Degrassi, like you had all this money, you come from privilege.
Had a privilege
upbringing. Like stop trying to be something you're not.
He had a privileged upbringing, man. You know, like here's the thing, y'all. When it comes to rap, and man, I hope Silver show up here in a few minutes. Is he coming on? Did he hit you up?
No, man, I haven't heard from him.
Okay. One thing about rap is people appreciate the authenticity. Now I get it, okay? Rap is 90% selling an image, but the thing is like you can come on and talk about like, oh, I got the burner, I'm a up the blicky, I'm a blam you, right? You know, but if you kind of come from that environment, that's at least believable. You know what I'm saying? Even if you only touch a gun once in your life, it's definitely believable.
Not to cut you off, but can you send another link to Silver because he's saying the one is not working?
Okay.
I think it's because we sent it a long time ago.
Let me see here. I'm gonna send it to him right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can at least say like, you know, well, he came from that environment. It's at least halfway believable. But when you came up privileged, you know what I mean, and then you own Degrassi, like you came up an actor.
And then now, like, because he's from Toronto, and Toronto is the Canadian New York. He's from the Bronx.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, well, and that's not sitting here saying that Toronto don't have bad parts. It's a major city. Every major city.
Oh, they do. I'm just saying, like, he's from the burbs.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, and just like, okay, now I know, Dom, you're not a fan of him or whatever. But the reason why no one comes at M like that is because M really come from the hood. You know what I'm saying?
No, he does
like,
not.
M come from the nobody come at Eminem like that. You know what I'm saying?
He's not from Detroit either. He just hung out in Detroit. Granted, he grew up right on the other side of the Detroit city limit. He did grow up poor, but he didn't grow up like thuggish, ruggish, none of that. No, he was just poor white trash. He wasn't gangbanging or nothing. He was just poor.
Well, people are also not stupid to come into Eminem because he would smoke them with, because he actually is talented lyrically and he's a pure spitter. Like he can take any word or any, you can make him say anything and it'll make no sense and he'll still make it sound like it's fire.
Yeah,
that's what he does.
Yeah, that's definitely what he does. You know, and you know he might. Whether he come from, Trailer Park or the hood or whatever.
He did not grow up hood, but he did grow up hood adjacent.
He did.
I'll give him that.
Yeah, okay, there we go, hood adjacent. But the point is, he didn't grow up privileged like Drake did.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
So M would be a little bit more believable, even if he had to use a different persona to do it. But it still come off believable because, like, the other members of the group, they come from
like Eminem grew up about 15 miles from where I did. He grew up like a mile from the city, whereas I grew up 5 miles from the city. Did not grow up in the city, but poor.
Yeah,
definitely not Drake privileged.
And see, Drake had that whole rivalry with Meek Mill, and Meek Mill was an easy kill, though. Because you look at it like right now, right? And Drake was going after a top 3 artist in the game in Kendrick Lamar. And James, we've talked about this. Meek is barely top 5 in his own city.
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't really know that many rappers in Philly there.
Is he better than Beans?
Meek Mill? No.
I don't know. I don't
Meek Mill's not better than Freeway.
Meek is not that good. Like,
is he better than Cassidy?
I mean, you might say Meek Mill is top 5 in Philly, but they're like James said, there's just not really that many good rappers from Philly. There's not really overall as far as like mainstream success. There's not really that many good rappers. Period from Detroit.
Well,
like Eminem didn't have a lot of people to topple. Who's the second biggest rapper from Detroit ever? I couldn't even tell you. I'm from here. As far as like success or accolades, I literally couldn't tell you. MC Breed, he's from Flint.
Yeah. Oh wait, I thought Breed was from Detroit.
No, he's from Flint.
Oh, well, but that's not Detroit metropolitan area though, is it? It's not considered Metro Detroit.
I mean, people still. There's no other majors there. You couldn't name a single other rapper on earth in Michigan that's not from Detroit or Flint. Flint might as well be from Detroit. He's not from Detroit, but he's a Michigan rapper. And if you're not from Detroit or Flint, no one knows who you are. I couldn't even tell you one.
Well, shoot, I know there's some battle rappers out there from Pontiac, but that's Metro Detroit. Right. X Factor's from Highland Park. That's Metro Detroit. Ain't Highland Park in Detroit?
It literally, there's kind of a point where Detroit starts and stops and Highland Park's in the middle. And I'm not like really afraid of any part of Detroit, but you will never catch me in Highland Park ever. They burned down the police station.
Woo! Oh, is that bad?
Highland Park is bad. Like, if you're running out of gas driving through that part of Detroit where it turns into Highland Park, you better just keep going and hope you keep sucking fumes.
Oh shoot, that's a lot like Camden, huh, James?
Yeah, Camden's not safe at all.
I do not fuck around in Highland Park. I do not go to Highland Park voluntarily. If you put a gun to my head and said, go to Highland Park, I would say pull the trigger.
Go to YouTube. If you really want to see some crazy shit, go to YouTube and look up Kensington, Philadelphia. That's like so someone actually did a documentary about it, but there's so many crazy things in Kensington. And it's the worst neighborhood in Philly, and if you go there, you won't even feel like you're in a real place. Like, you'll feel like you're just surrounded by zombies.
I was gonna say super scuzzy. Yeah,
people,
like Southwest Detroit
sitting everywhere, and there's like all these homeless people that have tents, and there's needles on the ground everywhere, and it's just like, it's horrible. So every time that I've had to like go through there, I just try to get the fuck out of there. Like, it's impossible.
It's over.
That's it.
I actually just typed in Kensington, and it's in North Philly. That explains it, I guess.
Kensington is a really fucked up area. You can ask Silver. But Silver, the barber.
What's up?
He's a music. He's got beats and everything. Silver, we were just talking about the Kendrick Lamar and the Drake stuff, and we gave our take, and we all pretty much agreed that Kendrick won. But what was your thoughts about the whole back and forth, and how did you feel about Drake and Kendrick and the whole situation?
Well, first of all, to me, I thought it was like a ploy for attention. If you ask me, two fellow artists trying to whip up some sales, maybe some attention, go back and forth, a little bickering here and there, but Kendrick really killed himself. That took that out of my mind for a hot second. Like, I thought that was, it was just a ploy, for them to make money. But nah, Kendrick was getting personal, attacking his son, attacking his mom, attacking his dad. This nigga was attacking everybody.
Yeah, and you got to think, like, if it's a ploy, because me and one of my best friends was talking about this. Because if it was like a ploy, like a fake beef or whatever, there's still a certain line that you don't cross. Because you would think, like, okay, well, if I you could say, oh, well, you smashed my wife, okay, then that's cool. But to say that you did stuff with like minors, that's a little too far. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Defamation worthy if it's not true. You would think. Like, even in
I think it is true.
It's still too far. Yeah. And people have been in agreement behind that. I've looked up mad proof on TikTok and YouTube. But you would think, even if it was a fake beef, there's still somewhere it's like too far. Because like, okay, even though this is fake, I could be permanently damaged from this. So So when Kendrick came at him with that, I was like, oh yeah, it's for real this time. It's for real. So Silver, where do you think Kendrick had it won? At what part?
The first part. That first song he came out was crazy. It made Drake go back and reevaluate some things, man. They made him go back home and reevaluate some things, come out with a different version.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Is and you know, it started off with Metro, and supposedly it was Drake smashed his girl, which actually isn't out of the question, because Lil Wayne actually did an interview and they asked him, is it true that Drake smashed your girl while you was locked up in Rikers Island? And he said yes, he did, but he kind of shrugged it off as, man, that's life. That was just one of my girls. It wasn't my main or nothing. But I've always said you can't leave your girl around them, man. You know, and apparently you can't leave others around them neither.
If you leave your girl around a dude and she's off on dude, she's for the dude. She ain't for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. You know, so
actions speak louder words. She can say, "Oh, I love you," it's that, but she on that dude's hammer. It's all phony baloney.
Yeah, you know, and people had said, like, because we saw a lot of rap beef, right? And people were saying like, oh, well, this is too far and such. And it's like, okay, obviously you never lived through Pac versus Big. Pac didn't care. He was taking all shots. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he didn't got a hold of Faith Evans and everything. Like, that's just kind of the game.
I had sex with your wife, and not in those words.
Yeah, that's just a part of that's just a part of the rap beef. You know what I mean? Like, there's, right. and I was talking to Craig about this, and I was like, man, there's a lot of pride involved, because you would think after he came with that in the beginning, like you said, Silver and James, it's like, man, he should have laid it down. He should have just backed out. Yeah. Out of here, you asshole. Oh man, I think they're on at the same time. Okay, cool. Okay, we can see you, Silver. Can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there it is. All right, but yeah, it's a lot of pride on the line. It's almost like, okay, Drake should have backed out from the first song, but he kept going. And so I was asking, I was like, so why do you think he kept going? And I think it was pride. Because he's one of the biggest superstars in the world. He's worth like, what, $250 million? He just signed a $400 million deal. That's why he kind of had to keep going. Even though the potential, and it turned out this way, it did more harm than good for him.
It's like he's a huge pop star, though. Like, that would be like, go back to, like I said, Justin Timberlake. Or like, would Michael Jackson start a rap beef with Run DMC in the early 90s? Probably not. Like I said, stay in your lane, Aubrey. Go be a pop star. You got all your Drake stands. You got all your streams, your millions of dollars.
You know, he needs some beats. He come holler at me.
Hey, give him that Dr. Dre. Give him that Dr. Dre fee.
Nah, I'm gonna give him that silverback feel, baby. That's what I'm gonna give him.
That you're not gonna charge him $250,000?
I'm gonna give him that. No, I'm gonna give him. Listen, you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. So I'm not gonna try, just because he got heavy pockets, I'm not gonna just try Scrooge McDuck and swab dive in them Jones. You dig what I'm saying?
Right, there has to be a lot of zeros on the end of that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna treat him accordingly, and let's do some business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You about $100,000 or what?
What, for a beat?
Yeah.
I charge them low, like $50,000.
Okay. Why not?
That's low end. It's low end. Listen, that rap beef battle was still going on with my beats.
I would set up a like if the opportunity actually came and like Drake wanted to buy one of your beats, I'd be like, no, fuck the money out. Like, yes, money off the top, but I want points on that shit. If you
I'll get points automatically. I want points automatic. At least one,
Yeah.
1 point is equal to $1 million, so at least one.
Right.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely on that one. But yeah,
that's even not even with Drake or anybody when it comes to doing this music shit. You know what I mean? If you buy a beat off me, yeah, I'm gonna charge you on the low end on the front bar, but I'm definitely getting a point.
Yeah, got to. You got to get as much out of it because that's more than just $50,000. That song could make him millions.
Right.
So you gotta get. You might not at the end get as much as he would out of it, but you still got to get as much as you can out of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, hey man, this right here is gonna. And I guess that's also why Dr. Dre charges like $250,000 a beat, because it's like, dude, what I am giving you, if you pen the right lyrics, this is gonna net you like an automatic 2 million streams. You know how I get down, right? You know, so I mean, $250,000 is fair, but you know, when you've been in the game as long as Dre, you can kind of do that. But everybody's, you know, different, I guess. But whenever I think he lost signal or something. But yeah, I mean, when you oh, here he comes. Okay.
Sorry, so I'm over here doing the most.
I hear you. But yeah, now all I was saying was, is like, you know, with the Dre, it's like, well, you know how I get down, right? You know my quality.
Right.
So this automatically gonna net you 2 million streams as long as your pen is right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think $250,000 is fair. Dre can kind of do that.
Yeah. But until you start making them hits,
yeah,
you can ask for them prices. Now when you start making hits back to back, then you can tell that motherfucker you want $1 million a beat, and he gonna have to pay for it.
And he gonna have to pay for it. Yeah, he gonna have to pay for it. It's being consistent, even just guest featuring. Like at one point, the best hook singer was Nate Dogg, right? Who knows what he was charging, because
still
everybody
the best
knows
hook singer. Rest in peace, Nathaniel Hale.
Yeah, you know, and whenever you that consistent, you can kind of name your price. Because let's face it, back in the late '90s, the early '90s, the early 2000s, anything he touched was gold. You know.
He was T-Pain before T-Pain was T-Pain, and he didn't need no goddamn auto-tune. That's the difference between that generation and our generation.
I hope they keep this beef on the wax only, on the airwaves only.
Oh,
I mean,
I hope Drake gets shot.
They're already fucking with Drake already. They went to his store and vandalized the store over there in Canada and shit. So I'm just hoping that, all right, guys. Yeah. I know everybody's emotional about this. Yeah, your favorite artist could be Kendrick or Drake, but we still have to be human beings, and
you
still gotta
be adults about that.
Yeah, you can't be fucking nobody's shit up. Period.
I think after Biggie and Pac and
that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying.
And Nipsey Hussle, like
that's what I'm saying.
No one else gets killed over rap beef.
Extreme. They took it to the extreme. You dig what I'm saying? So
the shit's way more ill when it's just on wax, anyways.
Right.
People. Yeah, you shoot someone, they're dead, and that's forever. But you kill someone on wax, you're a legend.
You
won't go to prison.
Yeah,
facts.
That's why and it's all been on wax. Like I was telling my boy the other day, I said the most battle-tested MC of all time, in my opinion, and it's not even close, is Nas. In his career, he survived legit beefs with Jay-Z, Wu-Tang, Big, 50 Cent. And he name a tougher murderer's row, you know, and still came out.
Always came back swinging.
Exactly. I'm about to check out Ghostface's new album when we get off here, and Nas is on there.
Oh, you know what I mean? Yeah, that just came out.
So did that Wu-Tang album.
Absolutely.
That came out about 2-3 months ago. That joint tough.
Oh yeah, like don't get it twisted. The OGs are still making noise, and I mean, Ghostface got a star-studded album. Like I'm definitely tapping into that one. But my point is, with Nas and Jay, they kept it on wax, right? I think the furthest it ever went was Carmen Bryan, and we know how she is, you know. But outside of that, nobody got hurt, and they ended up squashing it later. Now, I don't know if Kendrick and Drake will ever squash it, considering what came out. But
Drake has already been squashed.
Yeah.
The only thing that could happen at this point in person is for Drake or for Kendrick to be like, "All right, man, I'm done." Well, you're done, so I'm done.
Well, you gotta be careful right now because that beef is gonna linger on for a while because they got this AI shit jumping off and they battling each other with AI Jones and Drake got this so-called AI song. It's to me it's AI song because I don't think it's real. Apologizing to fucking Kendrick Lamar.
He should apologize.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
And he should do it himself, not with AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was,
but like I said, with this AI stuff going on, this beef is not going to just die out. It's only going to develop to be something else, and more to something else, and even more to something else.
Yeah, and that was my next thing. I know we don't got much time left, but the whole because Drake dropped Taylor Made and he had those AI verses to where even Pox and State came at him, you know. Right. So I mean, like coming from where you from, the whole music business and everything, this whole AI and music, man, how bad do you see it getting in?
Well, as a producer and maker of music, you can use the AI to your advantage to a certain extent. You dig what I'm saying? Now you battling folks and shit, you know what I mean? That's whack for you to have a whole AI to spit your lyrics. That's whack. You know what I mean? But again, it won't never die until somebody killed him. Like literally. Verbally, not literally, verbally.
Verbally, yeah. Yeah. But you said that it actually could be used to your advantage.
Yeah, like as a producer, you can use AI on so much stuff. AI helps you make chords. They help you motherfucker do your workflow faster. You get out of a beat block phase quicker. You dig what I'm saying? So there's so many things you could do with AI. Like when I make my beats, I had this bassline generator called a Bass Dragon that I purchased from Unison. Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? And I love it because it helps me come up with these really nice, thick, warm bass lines. You dig what I'm saying?
Nice.
And there's nobody can say, hey man, you stole something from me because I created it through that.
Yeah, it's still your creation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay then. Okay, that's what's up, man. Well, James, that's all I had, man. Unless y'all had something.
It was a great.
I'm sorry I'm late, man, because I couldn't get on for some reason.
Better late than never, my guy.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for coming on, bro.
No problem, bro.
Come back anytime. But we'll see you guys on the next episode next Friday, 8 o'clock Eastern. And looking forward to it. But thanks everybody for tuning in.
We'll be ready for the next episode.
Mm-hmm.